Hello everybody, welcome to this video series on utility theory and health technology assessment. In this video we're going to be talking about the measurement of health utility. Let's go. So this is a video series which will be focusing on the theoretical properties of utilities desired in health technology assessment. Specifically, we'll be focusing on theoretical properties of quality adjusted life years and how they are measured. To those that have a background in economics, they might ask, why dedicate a whole video series to the measurement of utilities? We don't actually use cardinal utilities in real life, do we? The answer to this question is that we actually do. Working health economists unironically use cardinal utilities in their work. Look up EQ5D, SF6D, or HUI, and look up cost utility analysis in Google Scholar. If we are using these indexes to aid in optimal investment decisions of health technologies, ignoring epistemological questions, we need to ask two questions. How are health indexes developed in practice, and what are the decision theoretic properties which we desire of these health indexes? In this video, we'll begin the discussion of how health utilities are measured in a direct manner. There are three methods which are used: the visual analog scale or feeling thermometer, the time trade-off, and a favorite, the standard gamble. So before we get into that, let's talk about QALYs and measurement theory. Not measure theory, but measurement theory. To discuss the QALY, it is better to think in terms of QALYs. The number of quality adjusted life years an individual in state HI with lifespan TI has is defined as follows, which is the utility they derive in state I over the period TI. When we have a single period, TI is equal to 1, we define our QALY just as this utility, and that is the valuation of 1 year of life in state HI. So that's what a QALY is. It's a valuation of 1 year of life in a particular state. The measurement theoretic considerations which we wish to impose on this valuation of a QALY is that all utilities from all health states are bounded on the interval of 0 and 1, with perfect health taking on the value of 1 and death taking on the value of 0. Utility indexes satisfy the interval property, right? Such that we view the change in health from 0.2 to 0.4 in the same manner as we view the health change from 0.6 to 0.8. So even though the starting states are very, very, very different, the actual health change that we're looking at will be the same. Though it is possible to measure outcomes worse than death, we'll also assume that there are no outcomes worse than death. That just means that there will be no negative utilities here, even though this is implicit in one here, or more like explicit there. I felt like this point just has to be clear. So in terms of measuring these utilities, let's start with our first option, that being the visual analog scale. And the way we go and we present this is that we give a thermometer or a scale to a individual, and we ask them, how are you feeling right now? And on that line, right, between 0 to 100, they pick a number. And just to satisfy measurement theoretic properties that we previously stated, right, we chose this number of 68. We're going to go and reorient that to 0.68. We can also really get this sort of visual analog scale and these types of results from a series of questions, right, to generate this valuation. That's usually what goes and happens. It's not always a thermometer, but usually it's a direct solicitation of how you are feeling. The next one is the time trade-off, right? We go and we present, say, our survey participant the following questions. How many years of perfect health is equivalent to 20 years with a liver condition, right? And we're really interested in what this valuation of this utility from this liver condition is. So we orient this equation here, where we're looking at 20 years times this utility from our liver condition is equal to our utility in perfect health times some y number of years. So if we're have an individual that's able to answer this question, right, we can go and reorient this equation as follows, because U H bar, right, that's our utility in perfect health. H bar is going to be the upper level of health. We can just go and exactly get this valuation for our utility from this time trade-off method. Now this last way, right, this is a favorite that we go and we have, because it's probably the most theoretically grounded out of all of them here, as opposed to the other two, which were just direct solicitation about what is your valuation. We go and we orient this evaluation of health states as a result of a gamble. We go and we ask our individuals, what is the value of P, right? Which will place you indifferent between the choice of health state I and a gamble between perfect health and death. Now, this is, the orientation of these types of questions is a little bit difficult. And, some people might be a little bit averse to, picking a gamble with death over any situation. So often we use a intermediate health state. And in that intermediate health state, we go and we place our valuation of health state I between H bar and H tilde, right? In this case, it's going to be on the interval between 0.7 and 1 here. So when we pick this intermediate health state here, right, we have to have some idea of where our health state UHI, right, goes and lies. So again, we can still go and obtain this type of utility valuation, just that it'll be a little bit different here because it's going to be bounded on a much tighter interval. So to conclude, in this video, we learned about how cardinal utilities are measured for the use of developing these utility indexes. Though there are more complex considerations in the development of a utility index, many relies on these three methods in some capacity when creating their own index. Sometimes they use combinations of these two. Though there are meta issues with regards to doing economic evaluation, which requires utility measures, we ought to just pick a health utility index and stick to it. So if you're an applied person, doing economic evaluations out there, just pick a utility index and stick to it. There's lots of debates in the literature, but just to move forward, we just go and we pick an index. Most commonly, it's the EQ5D. In the next video, we'll be discussing the concept of the QALY in more depth, and we'll be talking about it more in relation to standard economic theory. So I will see you guys in that video. I hope this video helps. Take care.